Good evening, everyone. Today is June 29th, 2025. I can't believe it's almost July, dude. Gosh, this year has gone by so fast, but it's also been like so long at the same time. It's been a fun day. It's been a very fun day. All the goals for today were to brush teeth, make a video log. I wanted to talk to my cousin Mallory about this housing concept that I've been cooking up this last couple days, but I ended up talking to her today and just not bringing it up. Like, I just kind of slipped my mind. It wasn't what the conversation that we were like having was about, so I was like, I'm not gonna derail this. And then would cook the steaks, cook the chili, go to Albertsons for the stuff for the steaks and chili. And then I wanted to plan out July 7th. I want to have like a get together with my friends, but the friend who were like getting together and meet never responded to me, so I'm like, alright, cool, whatever. Get figured out tomorrow. And then I need to make a recovery video log for last night. And then I wanted to write a letter to Zoran Mondani, but I didn't. I was just playing video games. And then I need to harvest beans. There's some that are like really ready for harvest, but I'm like, meh. Let them grow a little bit more. I think they'll be fine. And the other ones around them need to grow a little bit more, just like thicken out, like fill out. But like I do want to harvest them, but I don't want to harvest them and have them like sit there for 3 days and have a batch of like different age beans. Like some are like kind of like getting like and then some are like freshly picked. So yeah, figuring that out. And then yeah, the ones I didn't do were the letter, the harvest beans, and calling a cousin. And then yeah, it's been a very interesting day. So we stayed up late last night, and then I wanted to sleep in, so I set an alarm for like 11. Woke up at 11, was still tired. As I turn off my alarm, I like look at my phone, and the notification is like, by the way, cousin's son's having a birthday party at 1. Yeah, see it, be ready. I wanted to go to sleep till like 3, bro. I was so tired. But ended up waking up at like 12:50, getting ready, going. It was really, really fun. I talked to like a bunch of my cousins. My cousin Zach was there. He's super cool. And then they were talking about how our cousin Bryson, who works in Egypt, is still in town. And so they were like wanting to plan something with him. And then his birthday is the 23rd, if I'm not mistaken, which is a long way out, which is crazy, but whatever. And then yeah, Ava wanted some McDonald's afterwards. Like I was on my way back, and they just had like nachos in a bag, which is all right. Like it wasn't bad at all. I thoroughly enjoyed it. It was fun. But Ava wanted McDonald's, and I had just taken my focus medication, so I like wasn't even hungry at all. But yeah, so I got her some McDonald's, came in, played some video games, and then at like 4:30, I think I was like, okay, I'm hitting Albertsons. So I went to Albertsons, and then picked up all the stuff that I needed, like for the chili, some mashed potatoes, and they had steaks on sale, so I picked up some of those. And then came home, and it was like literally like 2.5 hours of cutting vegetables, putting the steaks away, like trimming up the fat, getting everything separated, meal prepping, essentially, and then like getting everything ready for the chili, and then it was like that and cooking, dude. Like it was a solid like 2.5, almost 3 hours of just cooking, and I was just like, oh my gosh, I'm tired, bro. And so I came upstairs, and I literally like binged R.E.P.O for like 6 hours. It was kind of ridiculous, but I had a lot of fun. I've just been chilling. I was like very like comforting. It's a comfort to just play video games that much, you know. But yeah. So I'm gonna set some goals for tomorrow. Did I have a daily thought? I did. Yeah, I did. So while I was prepping, I watched a home math video about levels of consciousness. It was the episode 1 introduction. Morning video log. June 7th. Sorry, I'm labeling. I'm setting goals wrong. So brush teeth, morning video log, scheduled to June 7th. Get together, label my video logs. I want to edit video logs. I need to clear the stairs. I need to organize my laundry. We work at 4. And then originals episode. We watched an episode of The Vampire Diaries today, and it was cooking, bro. It was so fun. We finally got to Serena Cruz. No spoilers, but it was really, really good. And then Yeah, so I watched a video call about the introduction to the levels of consciousness by Homa, and I actually really thoroughly enjoyed it. And one of the reasons I wanted to watch it because I knew he was going to go over all the levels, and I was like, where am I? Like, where am I? And as he was going through it, I'm like, no, I get the law and order, like, I get the wanting to achieve success, like, I get like, the individuality, but, like, everyone's on the same level, and, like, the acceptance of the individuality, but the rejection that individuals are unequal. And then he talks about, like, the level above that is like the acceptance of everyone is an individual at a different level and are doing it to match their place. And I'm fine to be who I am in my community, and other people are fine to be who they are in their community, as long as we all like follow the rules and like work together to the best of our abilities and are kind and good. That's kind and good. And I was like, there are, I would say that of my personality, there are many aspects where I am like not necessarily, like, I wouldn't say like, oh, a higher level of conscious, but like on that level of like total acceptance with the understanding we're all different, and so for when I see and that's kind of how I'm able to overcome like things that are divisive, like that are meant to divide people onto separate teams, and I can kind of just sit there and go, neither side is right or wrong. Like, it doesn't, and on I like it's such a violent sense of acceptance of the situation that I'm able to remove my own feelings about it and go, this doesn't even actually matter. Like, you're feeling some type of way about this, and I can understand that, but I also want you to understand that it doesn't actually matter. So I'm sitting here talking to someone who's a 3 or a 4 going, we need to do this, we need to do this, they need to. And I'm sitting here going, they can, but it's not going to do what we want it to do. It doesn't matter. It doesn't make a difference. It doesn't mean anything. And I was like, when it comes to like geopolitical, economic things where I'm like really well versed and like really well experienced, I can sit here and go and speak and think at that higher level of consciousness of what's actually going to make a difference, what's actually going to change things, what's actually going to help people, and not this is what I think, this needs to happen because I think this. And one of the things that I would say happens at that higher level of consciousness is a profound sense of respect. And I've talked about this on other video logs, but the sense of respect in, if I were you in your situation and I came across me, how would I most want me to treat you within reason? And it's like, we're losing that as a society. I feel in the most extreme parts of our society where people are most divided, we're losing that sense of respect. When people talk about immigrants, when people sit there and go, oh, the ICE agents, they should go in with flashbangs in the streets and do this and that, and they should shoot rubber bullets at people. No one in those situations, in those videos that you see, are thinking, if I were this protester in their situation, thinking how they think, how would I, as the protester, want me as the police to treat them? And when you think about it as I'm treating myself this way, or not, like, you're that level of empathy, this is me treating me this way, it changes you. Like, how would you want to be treated in this situation? And I will admit, in stressful situations, it's harder to think at that higher level of consciousness. When you're, like, I would say, military men, soldiers, people who are in active combat zones, can't think like that. You don't get, like, oh, if I were him, I would want me to let him kill me. Like, you can't do that. There are massive exceptions to that situation. But when you're in a civil society and you're interacting with people, especially online, I would say, how would you want someone to respond to you? How would you want to be responded to if you post this? If you posted this, and most people go, oh, I would never post that. I just wouldn't get into that situation. And that's the ultimate, like, lower level of, I could never understand it. You're already divided. You're already there. You're divided. But you're not having empathy to heal the division, to mend the rift. And so honestly, the highest level of consciousness he talks about is truthfully, just empathetically seeing what the other person is going through, seeing how they see you, and going, within the realm of rules and morals that I have, how can I treat them respectfully, the way they would hope to be treated, to the best of my abilities. And it's, for me, it's always like, smile at people, nod. If someone asks me how I'm doing, dude, I'm good. How are you? Nice, good. I'm happy you're good. Like that, it's good to know you're good, because I know we live in a time where it's hard to be good. Like that's how I feel when I interact with people. And I think a lot of people really get lost in the daily grind of life, that it's so hard for them to sit there and take a step back and go, why did that person react that way? You know, like why would that have happened? Like, why did they do that? And why did it make me feel this way? Why? And it's so hard to sit there and like contemplate these things. And I just think there's a much different level of, I think there's a much more genuine and intimate level of respect that I have for people, beyond the I respect you as an authority, or I respect you as a person, or I respect you as an intellectual, or I respect you as a whatever you are, right? A role model, whatever it may be. But I respect you as someone who I view as a person who I can understand has a hope that you would be treated fairly in an interaction. And I think a lot of people really miss that point in the day-to-day life. How would you want to be treated if you were them? How would you want to be treated by you? And why wouldn't you treat them that way? You know? And it's like, obviously there's times where you can't, like they're being unreasonable. And it's like, no, I just can't do that. Like, that is outside the realm of my control. And they'll get upset at you, and there's nothing you can do, because you're doing what you can within reason, within reality, right? And it's like, I work in customer service, dude. There's times people will call and just be like, hey, I just told the story the other day. Lady called in. She ordered a meal and substituted out the food that came with sweet and sour sauce, and then it's complaining she got no sweet and sour sauce. I'm like, you didn't get anything that comes with that. Like, you'd have to order it on the side. And she goes, well, what about this and this and this and this? None of those come with sweet and sour sauce. There's nothing I can do for you, because it wasn't mentioned on the phone. Like, you didn't say, I'll get a sweet and sour sauce there. No, you didn't. I was there. I took the phone call. You didn't do that. There's nothing I can do for you. And she's going, well, me. And I'm going, ma'am, what are you talking about? Like, what are you talking about? And it's like, I understand that you wanted that, but it wasn't expressed. I couldn't have known. So it's this is how I felt, this is how it affects me, and the lack of understanding that I'm also a person who's doing my job and understands the system better than she does, and is going, no, you're actually wrong. What? Just because you don't like the answer doesn't make it not true. But we're coming at it from different perspectives. You're coming at it from your perspective. I'm coming at it from mine. If I were you and I misunderstood what I ordered, and I call back and go, hey man, I must have gotten something wrong. I didn't get any sweet and sour sauce. Oh, well, so what came with sweet and sour sauce, you substituted out. Oh my God, you're so right, I did. My bad, man. Appreciate it. Have a good day. It's that simple to me. That's how I would have. If there's a misunderstanding in a situation, once it's cleared up, it's cool. There's no more issue than that. And so it's good for me to hear videos like that and be like, I do like to think I'm at a higher level of conscious in the calm portions of my life. Like when I'm not in a high stress situation, it's really easy for me to think wide viewed. And I'm pretty proud of that. And I'm not like super like shove it down people's throats. I genuinely think that there are so many factors that go into play of how what your level of consciousness is, and it's like you can have the most hyper conscious, self-aware, incredible thought, that anyone has ever had alone, and you can immediately hit record and start dissing on what other people think and trying to control how they feel. And it's like, you go from this, like, this is so good, to just, like, 3 out of 10. And it's like, okay. Like, that's the dichotomy. Like, within 10 minutes, you can go from ultimate wisdom of the universe to people need to stop thinking like this. Who are you to control how people think? And, like, when I say, who are you to control how people think, that's only one step above. But when I go, you can't control what other people think. It's okay that they think that, and if the thinking is misguided, you can guide it to better thinking. But you thinking that you can control someone else's thinking is flawed thinking. Me telling you they're misguided and your guidance is guiding you to be a guide for them. That is like to me, that's like the complete level of consciousness, is almost a temporary mediation between consciousness drifting plates, like tectonic plates of consciousness drifting into each other. And like someone just being able to, like, hey, there's friction here. You guys could be here. You need to come up and you need to come down to his level. You need to come up to meet him. Like, that to me is like a complete conscious person's enjoyment. That's what they derive joy from, for me especially. But yeah. Anyways, with that, I'm gonna end the video log. I hope you have a wonderful night, and yeah, I'll see you tomorrow morning. Peace.